Okay, we've got to do a little update on ICE and their Gestapo tactics. It's still going on. It doesn't show any sign of stopping. In fact, Donald Trump has hired 10,000 more. He's going to be hiring 10,000 more. He got a shitload of funding in the big, beautiful bill for ICE and for facilities to lock up all of the day laborers and the maids and the people that work in, in construction and what have you, to throw them into the pokey for however long he wants to, unless he wants to either deport them to the South Sudan or to Alligator Auschwitz, or maybe just keep them on hand just in case some of the Midwest farmers need some actual day laborers, and then we can sell those into slavery. Yay! Hell yeah! Anyway, we got some updates on this. Let's take a look-see here. Not that one, but this one. ICE secretly deported Pennsylvania grandfather after he lost his green card. Family of Luis Leon said that they were initially told by someone that he had died, but they found him alive in Guatemala hospital. An 82-year-old man in Pennsylvania was secretly deported to Guatemala after visiting an immigration office last month to replace his lost green card. Of course, ICE was outside waiting for him to arrest him because they got to get 3,000 people a day, according to the fascist hipster Goebbels, Stephen Miller. And it does not matter what they are arresting him for, just as long as you bring me 3,000 bodies a day, that's the minimum. Anyway, after visiting an immigration office last month to replace his green card, according to his family, who said that they have not heard from him since and were initially told that he was dead. According to Morning Call, which first responded to the story, longtime Allentown resident Luis Leon, who was granted political asylum in the United States in 1987. 87. That's like almost 40 years ago, man. After being tortured under the regime of the Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet, who, by the way, that was us that put him in power. Fantastic. That was us. Tricky Dick Nixon. And his cohorts, they put his ass into power because we love a good dictator if he's doing the things that we like. Anyway, I'm sorry, I digress. But Pinochet was the guy that tortured this dude, so he got political asylum in 87 for that. Anyway, he lost his wallet containing the physical card that confirms his long legal residency, so he and his wife booked an appointment to get it replaced. When he arrived at the office on June 20th, however, he was handcuffed by two immigration and custom enforcement ICE officers who led him away from his wife without any explanation, she said. She said she herself was kept in the building for 10 hours until her relatives came to pick her up. The family said that they made efforts to find any information on his whereabouts, but learned nothing. Then sometime after Leon was detained, a woman purporting to be an immigration lawyer, yeah, right, man, but she was probably working for fucking ICE, called the family, they said, claiming that she would help. Sure, but did not disclose how she knew about the case or where Leon was. On the 9th of July, according to Leon's granddaughter, the same woman called them again, claiming Leon had died. A week later, however, they discovered from a relative in Chile that Leon was alive after all, but now in a hospital in Guatemala, a country to which he has no connection. According to the Morning Call, the relative said Leon had first been sent to an immigration detention facility in Minnesota before being deported to Guatemala, despite not appearing on any ICE deportation list. ICE on Monday evening denied the Morning Call story, calling it a hoax. Yeah, that sounds fucking familiar. Morning Call claimed it repeatedly requested confirmation to details from ICE throughout its reporting. Morning Call also claimed that it was introduced the family during a Lee County courthouse protest over ICE's operations there. Okay. So they're out there doing surveillance on protests. So next time you're at a protest, know that you are on camera and they are filming your ass. It noted the family ceased responding to his request for clarification on Monday. A recent Supreme Court decision ruled Trump administration could deport immigrants to other countries beside their country of origin because the Supreme Court, they're a bunch of stand-up guys, man. Fuck, man. Fuck. In his nearly 40 years living in the United States, Leon spent his career working in a leather manufacturing plant and raised a family. He has since retired. Yeah, because he's 82 years old. He suffers from diabetes, high blood pressure, and a heart condition. So he's going to live out the rest of his life in a hospital in Guatemala. According to his family, who said that they are planning to fly to Guatemala to see him, an ICE official told the Morning Call it was investigating the matter. Sure. Yeah, we're looking into it. Don't hold your breath, though. The Guatemalan Migration Institute denied that Leon was deported from the United States to Guatemala. Morning Call reported on Sunday that Leon was recovering from pneumonia in Guatemala, according to his family, and that he arrived in Guatemala City on July 1st. According to the family, I mean, that's really fast. They deported him quick. According to the family, reported Morning Call, his phone was taken away and ICE officers kept referring to him and other detainees as Mario. The story was updated on the 21st of July to include statements from DHS and the Guatemalan government. Anyway, so that's one little case. Here's another one for you. This gentleman right here, Muhammad Ali Abu Bakr Nasir, a Libyan asylum seeker and a longtime North Carolina resident, was detained by ICE after agents reportedly misidentified him as Iranian. He is from Libya, but, you know, brown with a Muslim accent, that's enough for ICE. Agents showed up to his home without a warrant, probably wearing masks with no identifying insignia on them, just flak jackets and, military gear and some handcuffs. Agents showed up at his home without a warrant, threatened his family, and later abducted him on his way to work. He was interrogated about Iran despite having no ties to the country and is now being held in Georgia's Stewart Detention Center. So they took him out of state. Talk about human trafficking. Profiling people based on nationality, real or imagined, is unacceptable, said Nicole Fauster Bradford. ICE must release Muhammad and stop the mass targeting of legally presented immigrants. Yeah, man, I'm sure they'll get right on that. Here's another one for you. This is a pretty messed up little video, but there's a guy taking his daughter, his child, to daycare, and she's in the back seat, and Ice is like a honey badger. He don't give a fuck.
Father, who was in the process of immigrating to the U.S. from Iran, was detained by ICE while dropping off his child at a preschool. That arrest happened on July 15th, but the family has released new video of the incident. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call has much more on this. Chanel, thank you for joining us today. What can you tell us about this video and exactly what happened last week?
Hey, Mugo, good morning. That video was released by the family and provided to us here at CBS News through the family's attorney.
You think you got enough guys?
To watch here is the moment 38-year-old Mahdi
That's like
Khanbabazadeh was pulled over by ICE.
That's like a half a dozen guys for one dude. And they're all wearing masks. You know, they probably all picked up their police vest on Amazon.com.
Near his daughter's preschool. This happened in Beaverton, Oregon, just outside Portland. Take a listen.
Where are you heading?
Daycare.
I'm sorry?
Daycare.
Okay.
Where's daycare? Just to Beaverton. How far? 5 minutes.
That's his daughter right there in the back. That's why they're blurring her. That is a young child in a car seat.
Hell, hold on.
Oh man, they love that little tool, that little window breaker. They love that shit, man. They just love it. Girl is still in the back seat, and they're breaking glass.
I'm getting out.
So, Mugo, here's how a U.S. Customs Immigration Enforcement spokesperson describes what happened next in this video. They say ICE tried to arrest him during a traffic stop, That's when he asked for permission to drop his child off at daycare that was about 5 minutes away from where this stop happened. The agency, we're told, allowed him to move into the school's parking lot where they said he, quote, resisted arrest.
Yeah, he
and
looks like he's
refused to
resisting.
exit his vehicle. The spokesperson said ICE agents then, as you see in the video there, broke one of the windows of that vehicle to, quote, complete the arrest. The 38-year-old chiropractor was born in Iran, is married to a U.S. citizen, and just completed his green card interview a few months ago. So now he was in the process of awaiting a final decision on that green card before he was picked up by ICE. An ICE spokesperson telling us here at CBS News that Khanbabazadeh was arrested for overstaying his visa, but a lawyer, Mugo, who is now consulting the family on this case, issued a separate statement saying that that claim is, quote, completely false. That lawyer, I want to mention.
That's a very nice way of saying absolute bullshit. Bullshit. They want the bodies, man. 3,000 a day.
Also told local media that Khanbabazadeh was being held at an ICE detention center in Tacoma, Washington, and ICE is saying that he will remain in ICE custody pending removal proceedings. So lots to follow on this case, but what's new today is this video coming to us from the family.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I got more. Forced to eat the day's only meal like a dog, with their hands shackled behind their back, detained for days with nothing but shoes for a pillow and no other bedding. This is down in Alligator, Auschwitz. Doesn't that look hospitable right there? Just a tent. A cage inside of a tent. Just cold concrete floors and constant fluorescent lighting. Medical care that denied a man with diabetes insulin for a week and may have contributed to at least one death. Human Rights Watch report says there are 3 Miami immigrant detention facilities have subjected people to conditions so inhumane that they have become, at the time, life-threatening. Many ICE detention facilities are becoming overcrowded and conditions are deteriorating. But don't worry about that, because puppy killer Kristi Noem, our fascist Barbie, is in talks with 5 other conservative red states to build 5 more Alligator Auschwitzes in their own states. And she tells that the blue states that they need to get off their ass and get involved too, because we need all the prisons that we can shake a stick at. I mean, you know, we could fund Medicaid. We could fund some housing for all of the homeless people. We could feed the hungry. Nah, man, we need billions and billions of dollars to lock up brown people. That's a good way to spend our money. The Venezuelan makeup artist that was snatched up with Abrego Garcia and the 280 some other Latino people that were sent down to Sikot, Bukele's dungeon in El Salvador. The Venezuelan makeup artist, who was not Trende Aragua, he's not MS-13, but he was put on that goddamn plane. You know, all the reporting that came out said that 90% of the people out of the 280 that they put on the plane, so I don't know, do the math on that, 270 of them had no criminal record at all. At all. But they were sent to an off-site prison that starves them to death, 80 per cell, just the worst deplorable conditions you can possibly imagine. We've all seen it. It's disgusting. Anyway, the Venezuelan makeup artist returns home and describes torture during the El Salvador detention. Venezuela, July 23, a makeup artist who became the face of more than 250 Venezuelan migrants deported by the U.S. to El Salvador's most notorious prison arrived home to his family on Wednesday after what he described as an encounter with torture and death. Andre Hernandez, 32, and other detainees returned to Venezuela on Friday as part of a prisoner exchange after spending 4 months. So I guess they got him out and put some more prisoners in his place. I mean, Jesus, man, we can't stop fucking up. spending 4 months in El Salvador CCOT prison, where they and the Venezuelan government alleged they were beaten, shot with rubber projectiles, held in dark cells, and served rotten food. Quote, many of our fellows have wounds from nightsticks. They have fractured ribs, fractured fingers and toes, marks from the handcuffs. Others have marks on their chest and on their face from the projectiles, meaning rubber bullets, Hernandez told journalists at his home in Capacho near the Colombia border. U.S. President Donald Trump evoked the 1798 Alien Enemies Act to deport the men after, of course, the judge told him to turn the plane around, and they said, hey, the plane's in the air. There's nothing we can do about it. I have no power. I could have called the pilot, but they're so far away and our radios just don't reach. 1798 Alien Enemies Act to deport the men who his government accuses of being members of Trinidad gang. They're all over the place. There was only reported like 300 in the country. But, all of them, including this hairdresser, apparently they got them all. Without normal immigration procedures, meaning they didn't get to stand in front of a judge and go, hey, here's my ID. Here's where I work. I am obviously not Trinidad Aragua. Oh, we got the wrong guy. Let him go free. He ain't getting none of that. You just get snatched up, thrown on a plane, and sent out of the country. Toot sweet. The deportations sparked a legal battle led by civil rights groups, family, and lawyers, and many of the men have denied they have gang ties. Hernandez, detained by the U.S.-Mexico border during the Biden administration, had an active asylum case. When he was deported to CCOT, his case was widely covered in the media. Advocates in the U.S. have voiced concern that Hernandez, who is gay, faces risk in Venezuela due to LGBTQ persecution. Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't lovely for him, but I don't think, a straight person is having a great time on his hands and knees with his hands cuffed behind the back, eating food or whatever the fuck kind of torture, shooting projectiles at him, beating with nightsticks. It all sounds really lovely. The U.S. alleged Trinidad Aragua members based on his tattoos, crowns on his wrist that read Mom and Dad. He had a Mom and Dad tattoo. But yeah, Trinidad Aragua, dog. There was another guy who had a 23, which is Trinidad Aragua, the number 23, but it was Michael Jordan tattoo underneath of it, doing the Michael Jordan dunk and the number 23 over. They said that's Trinidad Aragua. Close enough. Get on the plane. Anyway, I got one more for you. Now, this is not ICE, but just to let you know that the police, they ain't much better. This is a young man in Jacksonville, Florida. He's pulled over by the cops. I gotta say, this ain't pretty.
The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office says it has begun both a criminal and administrative review of the officer's actions from a traffic stop incident from mid-February, after a recently released video shows officers punching 22-year-old William McNeil Jr.
Exit the vehicle now! Exit the vehicle! Show me your hands.
Here.
I mean, the dude is like, I'm here, motherfucker, and they just punched him.
I'm here. What is your reason, sir?
Step out.
What is your reason?
Step out now. All right.
No, don't.
Jesus Christ, man. They're just beating the piss out of him.
According to his lawyer, McNeil was told he was pulled over because he didn't have his headlights on. Police body cam video shows McNeil refused to step out of his vehicle and to provide an ID, registration, or proof of insurance when asked.
I don't have a window that works. Is there a reason that you're pulling me over?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I'm pulling you over. For one thing.
Instead, he shut the car door, locked it, and instructed the officer to call his supervisor.
It's not raining.
Oh, this is inclement.
It's not raining.
Okay, I'm not arguing with you.
Yeah, that was the thing. They pulled him over because he didn't have his headlights on. You're supposed to have your headlights on if it's raining. I mean, it looks like he's driving a moderately, late model car. They usually have daytime running lights anyway, but they pulled him over because he doesn't have his headlights on, and it's not even raining. Honey, he got pulled over for the one crime that he can't do anything about: driving while black.
Pulling you over. Give me your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
No, call your supervisor. Why?
Excuse me?
Call your supervisor. Why did you pull me over?
35. I'm cooperative dog driver. I've already told you.
Uncooperative.
Step out of the vehicle.
No.
Step out of the vehicle.
The officer then told McNeil he was under arrest for resisting and instructed him multiple times to exit the vehicle before breaking the window and punching McNeil in the face.
Sir, this is your last warning to open the vehicle and exit before we're going to break the window.
Multiple officers then unbuckle McNeil's seatbelt and pull him from the vehicle, forcing him to the ground and striking him in the face.
Show me your hands. Here.
15.1 hours.
Really great body camera there.
What is your reason, sir? Step out. What is your reason? Step out now. Get on the ground. No, don't freaking. Get on the ground.
Yeah, that's how you handle the public right there, folks. Just so, take a look at him. Take a look at him right here. Just sitting there. Just sitting there. He asked for the supervisor. If I can get it to play again. Come on, play, damn it. Ah, well, you saw it. Jesus. It ain't just ICE. It ain't just cops. It's just authority figures. They are abusing their authority. They have a little bit of power and they abuse it. You know, whether you are a brown person or a black person in this country, the biggest crime that you can commit is not following orders. Anyway, as far as ICE goes, man, they are full on Gestapo. Just full on. And most of those guys probably wanted to be cops back in the day, but couldn't make the cut, I guess. And so now they get to be mask wearing, jackbooted thugs that snatch people off the street, black bag them, all V for Vendetta style, and throw them in a van, take them to a detention facility, and ship them off to the closest country that we have a prison access to. It's fascism, folks. Just plain and simple. No due process, no ability to stand in front of a judge and plead your case, just arrest, detention, deportation. They have a quota of 3,000 people a day, and they want to hit it. And Donald Trump, he don't give a shit. This is Stephen Miller's project. And Stephen Miller is probably one of the darkest people. I'm going to have to do a full-on complete story about Stephen Miller because, I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but we're dealing with a short, bald man who has a real hard time getting laid, and he's really bitter about it. And I have a sinking suspicion that he probably wanted to go out with a girl in high school that was dating a Hispanic young man, and that was enough to piss him off, and he just hates the world. He hates himself. He's got a hole in his heart that he can never fill, and he tries to fill it up with hate, and it's just not satisfying to him. So he needs more and more and more. And none of this stuff is going to stop until somebody stops him. It's him. It's Stephen Miller. I don't think Donald Trump gives one good goddamn about this. He ran on the whole, we saw him come down the escalator in 2015 saying, some of them are good people, I'm sure, but most of them are rapists and murderers, and Mexico's not sending up their best. That was what he ran on. He knew that racism would get people on his side, but he does not care. He does not care. He just wants to keep his MAGA base satisfied, throw him some red meat, and keep him happy. Stephen Miller is a true believer. Stephen Miller hates black people, hates brown people. He's a hateful man filled with disdain and vitriol. And none of this is ever going to satisfy him. Shit, man. His wife left him for fucking Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is wretched. So you can only imagine how horrible Stephen Miller must be if his wife left him for Elon Musk. God damn, man. I mean, personally, if I was her, I would have left him a long ass time ago. I would have never married him. But apparently she's very right-wing conservative too. But, you know, honey, you can do better than Stephen Miller. And apparently she found out that she could do better. Anyway, I only make fun of him because I feel like there's absolutely nothing that I can do. I can't affect any change. I don't have any power. I'm angry as hell, and I can call my senator all I want, and or my congressman or what have you. I remember back when they first snatched up all those people and took them on the plane to El Salvador. I saw Gavin Newsom go out there and go, we need to stick Donald Trump with the economy. Don't get distracted by all this deportation thing. How did that work out for you, dog? How did that work out for you? ICE came and invaded LA. They brought, Donald Trump confiscated your own personal National Guard. And then he sent in a couple of troops of Marines. So not paying attention to this problem got you in that predicament. Now, I'm not saying it's Gavin Newsom's fault that ICE and the Gestapo and the Marines and all those guys ended up showing up in LA. I'm not saying that that's his fault. That's all Donald Trump and Stephen Miller. But ignoring it is to your peril. We all need to be on this front. This is due process, man. This is the core foundation of our Constitution. Everybody has rights, not just Americans. Everybody gets due process. But according to Donald Trump, he wants, 1798 Alien Enemies Act. He wants to get rid of the 14th Amendment. He's doing everything he can. He's got the Supreme Court bending over backwards, trying to give him everything that he wants so they can maintain some relevancy. But either way, you're fucking it up. Because if you give him what he wants, then you have no legitimacy because everybody can see that you're bending over and taking it up the poop chute from him. Or if you fight him and say, no, you can't do that, then Donald Trump's going to go, yeah, you in what army? I've got the army. You've just got your little black robe. So either way, they're fucked. So instead of bucking the tide and actually fighting against this fascist madman and this fascist project that Stephen Miller's doing, they are kowtowing. They're bending over. They're taking it. Just like all the law firms are doing, the television stations are doing. Even the Democrats are going, Chuck Schumer, I don't know what we could do. We've got no power. And Hakeem Jeffries going, I can go out there and give a speech and then, that's about all I could do. We could talk about this, but, what good is that going to do? I've got my marching orders from AIPAC and, those guys are pretty much my boss. The American people, they'll get over it. After 4 years of dealing with Donald Trump, they'll all come back to us. We don't have to do anything. We can sit around with our thumbs up our butts. We don't have to do anything. Donald Trump will screw it up after about 4 years and everybody get tired of it, and then they'll vote us back in the office, and then we won't do anything. We're not going to do anything now. We're not going to do anything later. We have done nothing, and nothing has changed. Wow! Go figure! Anyway, I just wanted to give you a report on ICE, their continuing madness. It ain't stopping anytime soon, but, doesn't mean that we can't try to affect change. And as long as I have the ability to talk about this, I'm gonna. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.